went to Nakano. There I spotted Dr. Saito by the entrance of the hospital.
こんにちは、斉藤さん。
おや、時坂さんではありませんか。
どうも。休憩中ですか。
ええ、少々気分転換を兼ねましてね。
大変そうですね。
何、仕事ですからね。
Saito smiled.
高城さんの容体はどうですか。
そうですね。もう少し時間がかかりそうですね。
A grim tone tinged Saito's voice.
そうですか。変化はないのですか。
肉体的に安定はしているのですが、精神が目覚めるのを拒否しているのかもしれませんね。
そういうことがあるのですか。
ええ、自覚せずとも子宮を、子供を失ったことを認識しているのでしょう。今は待つ時です。
やりきれませんね。
Saito silently nodded.
そういえば斉藤先生はなぜ精神科医を志したのですか。
It was a question that crossed my mind once or twice.
私ですか。あ、いや、まさかそんなことを尋ねられるとは思いもしませんでしたね。
Saito grinned jovially.
私の家は代々医師の家系でして、幼い頃からそういう教育を受けていたんですよ。
The doctor's eyes shifted as if he were literally looking back to the past.
医療に関わり合いのあるありとあらゆる知識を身につけました。結局のところ、何に向いているのか分かっ
Saito smiled, turned self-deprecating at that moment.
精神科に決めたのは戦争が終わってからでしたね。戦争で傷ついた兵士の心を癒そうと思ったのですよ。
そうだったんですか。
It never ceased to amaze me how many different paths people could take to reach the same destination.
おや、時坂さん。
Dr. Tojiko emerged from the hospital. He probably spotted me and come to see what was
どう
up.
も、朽木所長。
何かありましたがな。
いえ、近くを通りがかったので挨拶でもと。
そうでしたか。こんなところではなく、中に入っていただければよかったでしょうに。
そうでしたね。すみません、時坂さん。
いえ、まだ用事もありますので、これで失礼します。
As appealing as it sounded, I needed to check in on someone.
ではまたいずれ。高城、いるか。
ああ、時坂か。
Dr. Shiro was perusing some documents in his chair.
ようやく仕事をする気になったのか。
ああ、やっぱりじっとしていても落ち着かなくてな。
Good. Seems he's back on his feet.
いつカズナが戻ってきてもいいように俺がしっかりしていないとな。
その通りだ。俺に手伝えるようなことがあればいつでも言ってくれ。
今のところ問題はないさ。単純な人探しだからな。少しずつ勘を取り戻しながらやっていくさ。
そうか。頑張れよ。
言われなくても頑張るさ。
Tojiko flashed a hint of a grin. That look assured me he'd be fine. He'd been through much more shit than me after all.
すまなかったな。いろいろと面倒をかけて。
何、気にするなよ。お前とカズナさんが元気になることが一番だからな。
ああ。
Tojiko's voice was feeble, but his nod was resolute. Nice. The sun was descending through the western skies by the time I returned to Shinjuku. Now then, where to... Normally you get to decide where, and then all of a sudden, fucking Tojiko. My thoughts were derailed by that voice rising above the hustle and bustle by the station. Turned to find Tojiko and Yukare looking my way.
なんだ、映画はもう終わったのか。
ええ、これから帰るところですよ。ねえねえ、先生は捜査中？
いや、違うぞ。
Nope. I immediately denied it, sensing Tojiko would make me regret any other answer.
じゃあもう帰ると？
いや、一旦事務所に行くつもり。
それじゃさ。
なぜ？
だってさ、探偵の事務所ってなんかすごそうじゃない？
How was that her image of places like those?
別に構わないのではないですか、兄さん。
Gotta kick me while I was down.
先日事務所は片付けていますし、少しくらい綴り子に付き合ってあげてもいいと思いますよ。そうそう、ゆかりんはいいこと言うね。昨日もわざわざ上野まで私を呼び出したではありませんか。
Ugh, can't argue with that.
諦めて私の言うことに従った方が身のためだよ。
お前に言われると納得しがたいんだが。
それでは綴り子、兄さんをよろしくお願いしますね。うん、任せといて。
なんだゆかり、お前は帰るのか。
ええ、家のことをしなくてはなりませんから。それではまた後で。
Kinda turned around and headed for the station.
それじゃあ先生行こっか。
Tojiko tugged at my arm. Why me? Whatever, the sooner I get this over with, the better.
へえ、これが本物の探偵事務所か。
I couldn't tell if Tojiko was impressed or disappointed.
普通にどこにでもある事務所だろ
だってこんなに本がいっぱいあるんだもん。
う。いや、文学全集や百科事典だぞ。
Eh?
家の書庫が手狭になっていたからこっちにも持ってきているんだが、
そんなんじゃ探偵事務所っぽくないよ。
お前はどんな期待を抱いていたんだよ。
もっと秘密道具とかないの？明智小五郎みたいなさ。
小説の読みすぎだ、それは。
I sat in my chair and put the paper bag with the ring on the table.
何それ？
昨日トジコが言ってただろ。
そんなこと言ってないよ。
じゃあやらんぞ。
もらわないなんて言ってないもん。
Tojiko pouted and grabbed the bag.
開けてみても。
いいぞ。
Tojiko had already opened the bag by the time I gave my consent. Made me wonder why she'd even bother asking to begin with.
何これ？
She took it out and stared at it in wonder.
嫌だったか？
そんなことないよ。ありがとね先生。
Tojiko studied the ring carefully before suddenly bringing it toward her left finger.
ちょっと待てトジコ。
いいでしょ別に。どこにしても同じでしょ。
同じじゃないぞ。欧米で左の薬指にはめるのは結婚指輪と大抵決まっているからな。
へえ、そうなんだ。でも薬指くらいにちょうど良さそうな大きさなんだけどな。
せめて右手にしておきなさい。
そうだね。とちょっときついかな。
無理するなよ。
もうちょっとなんだけどな。
God damn it, you dork ass. Tojiko stared at the ring when she finished fastening it all the way to the base of her finger.
言っておくが安物だからな。
高価なものもらったって困るもん。
どうした？
外れない。
Dumbass. Tojiko tugged on the ring to no avail.
だから無理するなと言ったんだ。
Tried to get it off, but it was stuck so tight that it wouldn't even budge.
痛いってば。
これは無理だな。
じゃあこれどうすると？
家に帰ってから石鹸水でも塗りたくってみるしかないだろうな。
そんな。
情けない声出すなよ。さて、探偵事務所には満足したか？
This is gonna cause real problems for her, though, isn't it? It's a damn good thing you didn't put her on the left finger, because they'd be like, whoa, this young high schooler is married or engaged at the very least. Like, oh, there's an issue there, but no, they're gonna see that ring, and that's gonna cause problems in some way, shape, or form. It was dark outside.
満足するも何も。
This place is
何も
boring
面
as
白いところないんだ
shit.
けど。
Hell yeah.
当たり前だろ。
A person in the right mind would want to ask an eccentric detective agency for help.
まあいっか。
俺も帰るから送っていくぞ。
そう、ありがとう先生。
The two of us took the train over to Kichijoji. Tojiko said she'd be taking a bus home from the station.
私さ、お兄ちゃんが欲しかったんだよね。
Tojiko suddenly laid that on me while we waited for the bus.
だからかな。ゆかりんが羨ましかったんだ。
俺なんざまともな兄貴じゃないぞ。
そうだね。
謙遜なんだからうなずくなよ。ゆかりに何か吹き込まれたか？
Crickets.
ゆかりんが先生のこと悪く言ってるのなんてあまり聞いたことないよ。
それはそれで嫌なんだがな。
でもさ、先生の助手していた時は楽しかったよ。
助手？そんなことさせてないだろ。
黒い聖母のこととか調べてあげたでしょ。
ああ、そのことか。
She talked a big game, but her attempts to present herself as an assistant were about as convincing as Ozmi's assertions that he didn't have a thing for Kyoko.
なんだかその時はさ、舞い上がってたんだよね。兄貴の役に立ててるぞみたいな。
Tojiko grinned sheepishly. If nothing else, at least her heart was pure, for good or for ill.
迷惑だったかな。
Aw.
そんなことはないぞ。トジコがもたらした情報は十分役に立ったからな。
本当？よかった。
Aw. Just then, the bus arrived.
ねえ先生、
なんだ
Tojiko turned around right after she stepped into the massive vehicle.
これからもまだまだ迷惑かけるつもりだから覚悟しといてね。
お手柔らかに頼むよ
それじゃね先生。
The bus closed its doors and spewed exhaust as it faded into the distance. Guess I should head home too. No, because now something bad's about to happen to her, isn't it? There's no way that you just have that nice feel-good moment between them and then nothing happens. Not a chance. That's the thing, I know something can happen to her. I don't know if it's a guaranteed thing that'll happen to her, or if it's like a thing that goes off based on your choices. I know something can happen to her. I know something can happen. And now that there's all this feel-good shit happening between them, I'm like, oh, guys, they're right around the corner, isn't it? It's gonna happen. Fuck. My room was quite warm when I woke up.
おはようございます兄さん。
ああおはようゆかり
今日は暖かいからお布団を干したいので早く起きてください。
もうしばらく眠りたいんだが
ダメです。
I reluctantly got out of bed, routed by my sister's veiled threat. What to do today? Guess I'll stop by Moonworld or somewhere.
ゆかりちょっと出てくる
ええ、わかりました。
I arrived at Kichijoji. The place was swarming with shoppers despite how early it was. I spotted a familiar face amongst the
あ
crowd.
れは村瀬医師か
The evil-looking guy? The irritable, or good doctor, was heading toward the station in a hurry. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna call out to that motherfucker. Even if it weren't, like, listed in the guide that I should do this, like, I would not call out to that motherfucker. He already hates our guts, and I definitely don't get good vibes from him. I'm not calling out to that son of a bitch. Murase continued toward the station. He was probably on his way to work, and so I decided it was best I leave him be. However, at that exact moment, another familiar face came to view.
赤崎先生
She made a beeline for the station. She must not have noticed me. Maybe she was in a rush too. Just then, I spotted her with Dr. Murase behind the ticket gate. Do they know each other? I approached the ticket gate to take another look, but they were already gone by that point. And honestly, it wasn't worth going after them over such a trivial matter. Just something else to file away in my mental library, I guess. With that, I resumed my journey to Moonworld. God damn, those be colluding, huh? I arrived at Moonworld. However,
どうしたんだい初音くん
Hatsune was sitting in a chair looking absolutely crushed. Yet despite the sorrow etched into her countenance, there was something charming about the way she looked defeated, for whatever reason.
はう、私なんてもうダメなんです。
何があったんだ
I turned to the counter and asked Kyoko since I knew I'd get nowhere with Hatsune.
いつものことよ。
いつもの
京子さんが私の作った料理を食べてくれないんです。
ああなるほど
そういうことかって。
Hatsune shot me a reproachful glare.
今回だって頑張ったんですよ。初音スペシャル第4弾なのに。
So this wasn't her first attempt. Do I dare imagine what the other three were like? Soon enough, Hatsune showed me a plate piled with something.
どら焼き
But if so, why was there so much whipped cream?
ホットケーキですよ。
Hatsune pouted, pointing animatedly at the plate she'd set before me.
でも真ん中に何かが入っているような
マグロの油漬けとトマトを入れてみました。ちゃんとお醤油で味付けもしたんですよ。
マグロの油漬け
No, forget that. What madness drove her to combine pancakes with soy sauce?
そうだ、時坂さんがよろしければ試食していただけませんか？
Now, how am I supposed to say no to that face? Now, how am I supposed to say no to that face? No, hold up. I gotta fucking get rid of that. I'm gonna disappear from view. I'm gonna mute my mic. Alright, I just wanted to quickly... I'm clipping that. I'm clipping that for later. I'm saving that. I'm going to use that later. I don't know what capacity I'm going to use that, but how? Look at that. Look at that face. How are you supposed to say no to that face? Oh shit. Whoops, wrong button. I forgot I was clicked into OBS. I made myself disappear. No, click into game. Yeah, there. I want my text box back. Thank you. Look at that face, though. Actually, hold up. Let me take a screenshot as well. There we go. I got a clip. I got a screenshot. I need that. Look at that. Look. Like, I'm gonna be honest. If I were in this position, not even that charming face could get me to eat tuna pancakes. But listen.
俺が
I glanced at Kyoko, but she immediately turned away. Damn it, she's throwing me to the wolves.
よし、わかった。俺も男だ。
I'm a man.
食べて
I can do this. I'm a big boy. I took the plate from Hatsune, preparing for a long trip to the bathroom later.
男だからとか関係ないと思いますけれど、お願いします。
I grabbed a knife and cut into the pancakes. There were indeed red tomatoes and small chunks of fish stuffed between them. Brown liquid that must have been the soy sauce had seeped into the batter. Cut off a small piece of pancake and brought it to my mouth. The smell of soy sauce struck my nostrils. I shut my eyes tight and shoved it into my mouth as fast as possible.
そうですよね。よかった。
Hatsune heaved a sigh of relief.
まだまだ頑張ってメニューを考えますから。
ああ。
As long as she kept at this level of quality, anyway. I don't believe you for a second that it was good. You're bullshitting me. Absolutely bullshitting me. You're just being nice. No fucking way. Stopped by Kichijoji Station. The sky was dyed a beautiful marigold, indicating the advent of sunset. Alright, where to? I'm supposed to go right back to Moonworld, apparently. We just left there, now it's like, hey ladies, by the way, I wanted to come back.
おお、レイジ、ちょうどよかった。
Ah! I almost literally bumped into Ozumi right in front of Moonworld.
なんだ、魚住。
いや、何管理官殿の話をちょっと小耳に挟んだんでね。あいつとやり合ったんだろ
Is that how you spell brouhaha? Like, that's an actual phrase, I know that. Is it spelled with an O? By God, it is. I googled it, and sure enough, I guess I've never actually seen the word spelled. At least not properly, anyway. Brouhaha. Interesting. Well, you learn something new every day, huh?
そんな派手なことはしてねえよ。少々訓示を与えてやっただけさ。
よく言うぜ、まったく。とりあえず中に入るか。
Ozumi and I entered Moonworld at his urging.
いらっしゃい。あら、時坂くん、忘れ物？
違うよ。こいつに会ったんでね。
I gestured to Ozumi as he bumbled in.
あら、魚住くんもいらっしゃい。
おう、奥借りるぞ。
Ozumi shambled for the table, donning the same stone-faced mask as always. This guy, I swear.
京子、コーヒー2つな。
I sat down across from Ozumi after giving my order.
で、なんだ
ああ、八木沼管理官の大学時代の友人にケンジがいてな。
Well, don't leave me hanging. Prior to the war, Ryoichi Yaginuma's father was a prominent prosecutor. In addition to him, Ryoichi lived with his mother, who taught at a prestigious school, his considerably older brother, Kenichi, and Eriko, his sister, 3 years his senior. The fact that they're playing this music, I'm not gonna like what I'm about to hear, am I? His parents frequently compared Ryoichi and Kenichi, while his brother gladly lapped up their praise. As such, Ryoichi always felt inferior. However, his sister was the one person who never joined in. She would scold Ryoichi, but never did she compare him to Kenichi. Thus, Ryoichi loved his sister dearly. And she got murdered? Ryoichi's father was a public prosecutor, and he was extremely good at his job, to the point where he was known for resorting to any and all dirty tricks in the name of building a case. Never once did Ryoichi see his father smile. In fact, the man was hardly home at all. Ryoichi was sure that he'd made his mother lonely. Perhaps in her heart of hearts, her love for her husband, who neglected his family, had all burned away. Whatever the reason, she started an affair with a fellow teacher. Unfortunately, everything went wrong due to that one simple mistake. Ryoichi's mother became pregnant with her lover's child. His father divorced her in a fit of pure rage. Ryoichi and his siblings ended up in his custody. Oh, fuck. Their mother had lacked the financial means to raise them, after all. Now all by himself, their father fell to ruin. And the fact that he'd been repeatedly accused of unjust courtroom tactics by communists around the same time certainly played a big part in his downfall. He used the power of the prosecutor's office and the special hire police to hush up all the allegations. But now that it had been tarnished, his name would never be cleared. So Reichi's father descended into alcoholism and started beating his children. Kenichi had been clever. He never defied his father, knowing what would happen should he incur the man's wrath. As such, Ryoichi and Eriko ended up the main targets of his abuse. Every time he beat Ryoichi for no reason, Eriko would always take the blows in her brother's stead. However, the kinder she was to Reichi, the fiercer their father's fury blazed. Oh. Did his father beat her to death? Eriko was a beautiful woman who was nearly identical to her mother. Her father must have been jealous, for it didn't take long for his abuse of her to turn into sexual nature. Oh, that's even worse. Christ. Yet Eriko put up with it all. She was strong. She knew the more she endured by herself, the less mistreatment her little brother would have to suffer. And indeed, their father stopped beating Reichi as much. However, that was only because the man had started directing all his resentment at Eriko. All Reichi could do was close his eyes and cover his ears to the rape that occurred night after night. He had been too young to even dream of defying his father. It was long before Eriko became pregnant with her father's child. In turn, the man's irrational anger drove him to further violence against her. He'd rape her despite her pregnancy, kick her stomach, punch her face. In the end, he broke Eriko. Reichi was the first one to find her hanging from the beams of their home. Jesus. It had only been a few minutes since her suicide attempt. She was immediately brought to the hospital, and her life was consequently saved. However, she'd suffered brain damage brought on by hypoxia. A later investigation found strangulation marks beneath the rope burn on her neck. But unfortunately, her father had used his authority once again to have the case covered up, as it all happened back in November 1941. Currently, Eriko Yaginuma was hospitalized at the Kichiki Pathological Research Facility. Oh. Reichi was, and had always been, the only one to visit her during those 15 years. His father had eventually been arrested by the Special Hire Police under vague charges of violating the peace preservation law and died in prison. The rumors that he had lost an internal dispute. Thus, Reichi Yaginuma had been wearing a mask so that no one else ended up like his sister. He played the part of a man who trusted no one, never let anyone in, never relied on anyone, would achieve greater heights than anyone. For if he stayed alone, that no one else would get hurt defending him. Damn. Yeah, damn.
とまあ、こういうことらしい。
Okay, okay. The air between me and Uozumi was grim and solemn.
まあ、本当のことかどうかは誰も知らんがな。
ふざけたやつだな。
I sighed with a hint of exasperation. Still, I was surprised that the Kichiki Pathological Research Institute had come into play yet again.
何にせよ、管理官としての腕は確かだ。ここ数年の検挙数は群を抜いている。
従っていて間違いはないというところか。
さあね、やり方に納得いかなけりゃ勝手にやるさ。
言うね、不良警官。
うるせえ、こっちから守るもんもねえんだからよ。
守るものを作ればいいじゃねえか。
I glanced over at the counter as I said that.
バカ野郎、事件がこんだけ起こってるのにそんな暇あるわけねえだろ。
Think you could try saying that without staring at Kyoko next time? You'd convince a hell of a lot more people that way.
ああ、そうだった。例の件で何か進展はあったか？
ん？ああ、そういやあったな。外車の身元がなんとかわ。
そうなのか。
Scraping together any information from those tiny chunks of flesh was a Herculean feat worth honest admiration.
なんせあちこちに卵がばらまかれちまったからな。回収が面倒だったそうだぞ。
そいつはご苦労なことで。夏目さんだったら絶対にやりそうにないな。
監察医務員だよ。で、血液型など行方不明者名簿と照合した結果、小林優子という少女が浮かび手の指にあった比較的新しい骨折痕が決め手だな。
これで2人か。
そうなるな。
Ozumi sipped his coffee and got up.
また何か分かったら連絡する。
ああ。
Ozumi paid the check and left the cafe. It was getting late, so I figured I'd best head home. The sun had set by the time I got back. I returned to my bedroom after a nice dinner. Alright, so tomorrow's the opening ceremony at Oba. Not to mention the date of Tojiko's party. Every day was non-stop excitement, huh? Never in my wildest dreams would I have imagined my life being this way just a few years ago. Though it still didn't change how lonely things were without Yukiko around. Cut it out, Reiji. Dredging up the past would do me no good. What mattered most was that I focused on the incidents in the present. According to Ozumi, they'd ID'd another one of the case's victims. That made 2. Still, what was the perp's MO? What drove them to stuff human flesh inside eggs of all things? Whatever the reason, some insane delusion was at work here, that was for sure. They wouldn't have gone to all that effort simply to dispose of a body, after all. And that wasn't even getting into the other mystery about the flesh and the eggs. According to Natsume, it had been exclusively from arms and legs, meaning the victims' torsos hadn't been disposed of, in theory. In theory, anyway, okay. But in that case, where could they be? I rapidly shook my head to erase the image of a Matryoshka doll-esque girl that briefly flashed through my mind. Stop. You're just bumming yourself out. I decided to call it a night before I continued my spiral into negativity. Cottage shaking introduced me to a brand new morning.
今日は始業式ですよ。兄さんも行くのでしょ？
ああ、わかってるさ。
I sat up.
では朝食の用意をしておきますので、お布団はご自分で片付けてくださいね。
Yukari left me with that task. She was right. I had places to be today, so I couldn't just park my ass on the floor forever. A magnificent aroma of coffee awaited me once I got changed and joined Yukari in the living room.
兄さん、今日はトーストでよろしいですか？
ああ、珍しいな。
そうでもないと思いますけれど。
Yukari brought some plates over from the kitchen.
新鮮なイチゴのジャムが手に入ったので。
俺は普通にバターの方がいいんだ。
バターは今切らしているので我慢してくださいね。
Oh well, still better than those fried ants she served me some eons ago. Yukari and I went to Obergirls Academy together. There were a lot of freshmen up and about in new uniforms. Though graceful in their demeanor, their faces brimmed with smiles. Probably couldn't wait to see what excitement was lurking in the wings of their new school. Energy notably lacking from their upperclassmen. They too had probably been just like these new girls once upon a time.
おはよう、ゆかりん。
Though I suppose she was an exception.
おはよう、つづり子。
よう、相変わらずやかましいな。
Then again, it was a good thing she never lost her cheer.
やかましくなんかないやい。
Tojiko raised her right fist, the ring gleaming in the sunlight.
なんだ、通ってないのか。
取れなかったな。もう規則違反だよこれ。うまく指を曲げて隠しておくしかないでしょうね。手袋でもしておこうかな。
そっちの方が目立つと思うぞ。
The entire student body assembled in the chapel. It was awfully quiet considering the large crowd. The opening ceremony proceeded solemnly, almost like nothing had ever happened. Arahime Tsukushima and Tatsuki Kisaka were no longer present, nor were Yui Nishizona or Haruki Imamura, and yet the school was as unnervingly silent as ever. I marched to the staff room with the rest of the teachers after the ceremony ended. There was no desk for me there, naturally. Thus I decided to return to the history prep room as soon as I finished exchanging pleasantries with Saiki.
佐伯教頭、また。
いや、お世話になるのはこちらですよ。わざわざ申し訳ありません。
いえいえ、今回はお役に立てるかどうかわかりませんが。
Fingering the killer took top priority in this situation, which under normal circumstances meant I shouldn't have been sticking around this place, yet here I was. So what was I to do then? Wait until the police had more intel?
時坂先生、あと一つお頼みしてもよろしいでしょうか。
何でしょうか。
時々でよろしいので、美術部の方も見ていただけると大変助かるのですが。
あは、その程度でしたら構いませんよ。
では、重ねてよろしくお願いいたします。
Saiki bowed low to me.
いえ、こちらこそ。
I gave my thanks and left the staff room. Since Saiki wanted me to check on the art club, I decided to make that my first order of business. It's just about time for the students to be dropping by their clubs anyway, since the ceremony had finished. I went to the clubhouse to check the art room, but no one was there. It seemed my estimate had been off. That said, someone's bag was still sitting on a chair near the window. Who could it be? I approached the window and looked outside. An easel was sitting out at the edge of the schoolyard, which was abloom with cherry blossoms. There was only one person I knew who'd be drawing there. The bag was probably hers, too. I went out and strolled over to her. She remained focused on the canvas. Knowing her, it was hard to tell whether she'd see me or not. Simply stood back and watched from a short distance away, not wanting to break her concentration. That said, I couldn't help but wonder what she was drawing.
声もかけずに覗き込もうとするのは部長法だと思わないかい？
なんだ、気づいていたのか。
そりゃ気づくさ。まっすぐこちらへ向かってきたのだからね。
Toko chuckled slightly.
それで何を描いていたんだ？
なんだと思う？
Toko covered her canvas.
桜か？
違うよ。
建物か？
外れ。ここにあるとは限らないよ。
そう言われても
外で描いた方が落ち着くんだ。部屋の中だと狭くて集中できないからね。
な。俺とは逆だな。俺は本が密集しているようなところの方が落ち着くよ。
そうなんだ。まだ私も先生のことをあまり知らないようだ。
そりゃ会ってから1ヶ月しか経っていないからな。
そうか。もう1ヶ月経ったんだね。あっという間だった気がするよ。
充実した時間というのは早く感じるものだよ。
そうだね。私も絵を描いているときはそう思うよ。もっと時間があればいいのに。
Toko laughed, but stopped just as abruptly as she started, her countenance marred with a shadow.
どうした？
ねえ時坂先生、時間が解決してくれることってあるのかな？
Sure.
何があったんだよ。
瞳子と喧嘩したんだ。多分私が悪いと思う。
Toko sighed.
それは謝った方がいい。
うん、それは分かっているんだけれど。
時間が解決してくれると楽観的に考えていてはきっと取り返しのつかないことになるぞ。
うん、やっぱり時坂先生は違うな。伊達に年食って
What
な
do
い
you
ね。
mean all those years? I don't think Homeboy's that old.
年だけは余計だ。
I got up and playfully flicked Toko's forehead.
お前たちなら仲直りできるよ。
うん
それじゃまたな。
帰るの？
いや、歴史家の準備室にしばらくいるよ。
そう、
今日はトジコのパーティーをするとか言っていたから。
そのつもりだよ。瞳子もきっと連れて行くから。
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. Here, let me, try to apologize to you for whatever the fuck that involves you hating, Tokisaka. Now let's go to the Tokisaka place. Yeah, let's go be around Tokisaka some more. I'm sure she'll love that.
ああ、楽しみにしているよ。
When I returned to the hallway and looked back outside, I saw Toko crossing the schoolyard. She must have spotted Toko. But I'd meant what I said. I'm sure those two would have no trouble making up. Yeah, sure. She'd probably go across the car like, you were talking to him again, weren't you? Evening had finally arrived. Probably still had time to do a few things before the party, so... we gotta swing by Moonworld. I went to Moonworld. The Cup of Joe felt like it really hit the spot right about now.
いらっしゃい時坂くん。
Kyoko turned around, a tray with several coffee mugs in hand.
なんだ、忙しそうだな。
There are already several other customers there.
忙しいわよ。
そうなのか。
ええ、ちょっと待ってね。
Kyoko served coffee to the other customers. Though it looked like she was having a hard time, she'd run this place by herself for years until she tired Hatsune, so I knew she'd be fine.
お待たせ。コーヒーでいいのかしら？
ああ、
Kyoko went back behind the counter.
初音くんの具合はいいのか。
最近働き詰めだったからかしらね。今は奥で休ませているけど、そうだ。後で初音ちゃんの様子を見てきてくれないかしら。
え、俺が？
お客さんもいるし、私が外すわけにもいかないでしょ。
I glanced at the door to Hatsune's room. Listen, Kyoko, I can't do that. How could I impose on her like that? That's rude.
おいおい、年頃のお嬢さんが寝てる部屋に俺が入っちゃダメだろう。
あら、そんな固いこと言うなんて。そういうところ嫌いじゃないけどね。
Be a fucking
でも
loser.
時坂くんだったら大丈夫よ。
Kyoko smiled.
時坂くんだったら初音ちゃんも安心するでしょうから。
そういうことなら仕方ないか。見てくれ
I
よ。
tried. I said I couldn't do it. However, just as I got up, the door opened, revealing Hatsune.
初音くん？
Her face was flushed. She must have been suffering from a fever.
あ、 時坂さん、
ダメじゃないか、寝ていないと。
このくらい。
ダメよ、おとなしくしてないと。
Kyoko ran over and checked Hatsune's forehead.
まだ熱があるよね。ねえ時坂くん、悪いけどこの子病院に連れて行ってくれないかしら。
それは構わないが。
Probably best to take her somewhere local. The sooner she gets medical attention, the better.
よろしくお願いね。初音ちゃんもほら、暖かい格好して。
はい。
I dragged Hatsune out of the cafe with Kyoko swiftly help. What? I dragged Hatsune out of the cafe after Kyoko swiftly helped her into something warm. There we go.
すみません。
Hatsune bowed to me.
気にしないでいいよ。さあ、早く病院に行くとしようか。
The closed medical facility was probably Fumiya Kuchiki's clinic.
あの
Hatsune's voice was laced with childish terror.
俺は医者じゃないから、それはわからないな。
そうですよね。
なんだい？注射は嫌いなのかい？
そんなことはありませんよ。
Slander! How dare you! Hatsune frantically shook her head. Not exactly helping your case there. We crossed over the Chuo line to the Kichiki residence, Mitaka. Fortunately, Fumiya happened to be right out front when we arrived.
どうも、朽木さん。
おや、時坂先生ではないですか。
いえ、今日は知り合いの付き添いですよ。
今は休憩中ですよ。患者さんですか。
Fumiya regarded Hatsune.
ええ、熱があるようです。
ええ、もちろんです。こちらへどうぞ。
はい。
Hatsune glanced at
待
me.
っていてあげるから。行っておいで。
I'd be the biggest asshole on the planet if I dumped a sick girl and hightailed it out of there.
はい。
Hatsune came back gripping her arm.
注射されたんだね。
しないって言ったじゃないですか。
いや、俺はわからないと答えたはずだが。
Oh, it was all water under the bridge as long as this made her better.
それじゃ、帰ろうか。
どうもありがとうございました、時坂さん。
Hatsune bowed to me once more when we got back to
こ
Moonworld.
の程度構わないよ。それよりも、しっかりと暖かくして休む。
はい。ありがとうございました。
Hatsune bowed again before heading back to the cafe. Alright, now what? Now what? Now, before we have to be to our, our little party that's like right around in this area, wherever their residence is like right over here, I think is where he lives. We got this party shortly over here. How about we take a nice short trip all the way over to the art museum? I strolled through Ueno Park till I arrived at the museum. I should pay still a visit. The museum was so quiet that it'd be easy to mistake it for a mausoleum. Not that it was a particularly loud place to begin with, but it still stood in testament to the lack of visitors today. Eventually I found Stella in a corner of an exhibit room.
やあ、
館内ではお静かに願います。
Stella recited those words without even looking at me. Not that I could blame her though, she was simply doing her job. It was then that Stella turned to face me for the first time.
レイジ、
いや。
Boy, this sure is awkward.
何？
いや、まあ、特に要件はないんだが。
行かない。
Ouch, that's kind of blunt.
お仕事あるから。
そうだよな。
No surprise there, really. Also, it'd be kind of weird to have Stella just fucking show up and like, Reiji, who the fuck's this? Or like, I'm sure some of them would recognize her because I think most of them have seen her at this point. Be like, hey, yo, Reiji, why is the museum girl here? No shit, she's been on her guard after a sudden invite like that.
悪かったな。変なこと聞いちまってね。
うん。
Stella shook her head.
誘ってくれて。
Stella took off on swift feet, leaving those words.
館内を走っちゃダメだろ。
I held myself in the library once I got home. Yukata was getting the party ready in the living room, so this was the only place in the house I could get some solace. I sat on the chair and picked a random book off the shelf. It was none other than Alexander Dumas's The Count of Monte Cristo. Come to think of it, Riko Kuroiwa wrote a Japanese adaptation of the book called The Ruler of the Cave, didn't he? Seemed like it'd be fun to read both versions to spot the differences. Got back up and turned to the bookcase.
何が？
だから岩窟王を。
岩窟王？
You cheeky bitch. The ruler of the cave. Wouldn't it take too long to measure the cave with one of those? I like it. That's a good one. That's a good one. I gotta give props where props is due. That's... I turned to find Tojiko standing there, head cocked curiously.
なんでここにいるんだ？
それはご挨拶だね。今日はよそ宮さんのパーティーだろ？
それは知ってる。
時坂さんに聞いたら、先生がここに逃げたと言われたからさ。
Tojiko
みん
smirked.
な来たのか？
東子と佐藤さんはね。よそ宮さんがま
Don't
だか
say
な。
that. Don't say that. Don't tell me everyone gathers for this party and then they're like, wait, where's she at though? Where is she? And then I don't.
そうか。水原さんとは仲直りできたのか？
That was quick, seeing how it only been a few hours since we last talked.
当たり前じゃないか。私と東子の仲だよ。
Says the one who was worrying so much this afternoon.
さあ行こう。みんな待ってるよ。
Tojiko dragged me off. Man. Tojiko and Ayame were sitting on the living room sofa.
お邪魔しています、時坂先生。
こんばんは。
そうかしこまらなくてもいいよ。のんびりするといい。
Ayame was one thing, but Tojiko looked nervous, almost as though she was sitting on a ticking time bomb.
そうだよ。自分の家だと思ってくれればいいさ。
お前が言うんじゃない。
This one, on the other hand, could probably benefit from standing on a bit of ceremony.
兄さん、
Gotta send me over to the kitchen.
どうした？
綴り子はまだ来ていませんか？
Fuck. No, 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 no.
そうだな。
一旦自宅に帰ったはずですけれど。
電話をかけてみたらどうだ？
え
No, no. Yukari left the room. My heart was pounding a mile a minute. But why? Could it be?
え。先生？
Fuck. Fuck. I snapped to my senses and found Tojiko scrutinizing my
なん
features.
だ？
なんだか怖い顔をしているよ。
気のせいだろ。
Fuck. Unfortunately, I couldn't do anything to hide the tension sculpting my countenance. I went outside and watched the road that passed by my house. No one was there. Tojiko still hadn't shown. Part of me expected her to pop out of thin air at any second like nothing had happened at all. And yet the desolate street betrayed my hopes. I heard the door creak open behind me. It was Yukari.
兄さん、綴り子はもうだいぶ前に家を出ているそうです。
Ah, fuck. God damn it. Fuck.
そっか。
差し出がましいようですが、魚住さんにも連絡しておきました。
魚住が。
ええ、皆さんを家へ送らないといけませんし。
そうだな。すまないゆかり。
いえ、私は家の中にいます。
Damn it. Gotta walk back into the house, clearly distraught. God damn it. Where the hell is Tojiko? There weren't even 2 kilometers between this place and South Nishiogakubo. It was approximately half an hour on foot. There weren't even any places to stop along the way. A half-hour walk, my man. It's pretty. That's honestly, that's a kind of hefty distance. You could easily get fucking nabbed. As I mulled over my thoughts, a pair of lights zoomed down the road. Black dots and drew near.
レイジ、待たせたな。
Ozumi parked the car in front of me, got
待
out.
っていたのはお前じゃねえよ。
わかってる。一人行方知れずだって。
ああ。だがその前にうちに来ているお嬢さん方を家まで送ってやって。
おう、任せておけ。
God damn it. God damn it.